We lost a good friend of mine in the last 24 hours, Bonnie Tyler. That's the Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
On a grey morning in South Wales, as the sea air moved gently over the rooftops, a small group of people gathered to say goodbye to a voice that had once echoed across the whole world. There were no stages, no spotlights, and no roaring crowds. Just family, close friends, and the quiet ache of knowing that the woman who sang Total Eclipse of the Heart, and It's a Heartache, would never step up to a microphone again. In keeping with her loved one's wishes, the farewell was private, held away from cameras and public broadcasts, a quiet ending for a life that had spent so much time in the glare of fame. Bonnie Tyler's family had already made one thing very clear: her final arrangements would belong to them, not to the media or the world at large. They handled the details themselves, choosing intimacy over spectacle, closeness over ceremony. There were no live streams, no official television coverage, and no long public program for fans to watch. Instead, there were simple words, shared in small rooms: gratitude for her life, love for the woman behind the songs, and quiet tears for a mother, wife, sister, and friend whose voice had once filled arenas but now rested in silence. In that choice, her family honored not just her career, but her humanity. Inside that private farewell, the memories were deeply personal. Someone spoke about the young woman from Swansea who refused to give up after a setback with her voice, who turned that roughened, husky sound into her greatest strength. Another remembered the way she would laugh before going on stage, joking to calm everyone else while carrying the weight of expectation herself. There were stories of early tour, small clubs, late-night drives, and the moment It's a Heartache first began to travel further than anyone imagined. For those gathered there, Bonnie was not only a star, but a hard-working artist who stayed grounded even as her songs climbed the charts. Outside that room, the world grieved in a different way. Fans played her records at home, some for the first time in years, rediscovering the raw emotion in her voice. Radio stations lined up her hits, letting that unmistakable rasp cut through the air like it had in the late 1970s and 1980s. Online, people shared stories of hearing Total Eclipse of the Heart at key moments in their lives. At weddings, heartbreaks, long bus journeys, and quiet nights with headphones on. While they could not attend her funeral, they could still take part in a kind of global remembrance, built from playlists, clips, and simple messages of thanks. Among all these tributes, one stood out: the stunning, heartfelt salute from Sir Rod Stewart. Bonnie and Rod had long been compared for their similar vocal styles, both with that rough, emotional, unmistakable tone that felt more like lived experience than polished technique. Over the years, they moved in the same musical universe: rock ballads, emotional storytelling, songs that wrapped heartache in melody. When news of Bonnie's passing reached Rod Stewart, he did not respond with a long press conference or a scripted statement. Instead, he did what he has always done best. He turned his feelings into music. At a special performance in front of an intimate audience, Rod stepped up to the microphone and chose a song that will now forever carry an extra layer of meaning. It's a Heartache. The track that helped make Bonnie Tyler a star became, in that moment, his way of saying goodbye. He spoke briefly, calling her a dear friend and one of the great voices of rock, and then let the music carry the rest. As he sang, you could hear the weight in his voice, not just the gravel and power that fans know so well, but a softness underneath, the sound of someone paying respect to a fellow traveler on the long road of music. The reaction in the room was immediate. People who had come expecting just another song in Rod Stewart's set suddenly realized they were witnessing something much more personal. Faces changed, eyes filled, and phones were quietly lowered as listeners chose to be present in the moment rather than capture it. For a few minutes, it felt as though Bonnie herself was there in spirit, her song being held up by a friend and offered back to the world in her honor. It was not a grand, choreographed tribute with big screens and special effects. It was simple. One man, one song, one memory shared with everyone listening.